like you know, a different world than it is today. You couldn't go to anything that was like Russian, Soviet, but anywhere else was open. You know, I hitchhiked through Afghanistan, for instance. Friendly place when I was there.
Yeah.
And you know, it's a very different world then. And basically, because travel became accessible, there was people started going. First, I went like across North Africa, actually a couple of times. Morocco started there back in like '65, and then I'd heard about India being the place. You know, it's a completely different culture than the West. You know, back then I was kind of raised in a church, school, you know, this type of thing. And this was still, you know, it was culturally a very different world. These people in India were like heathens, you know, back even as late as the 60s. Well, actually, all of that began to kind of fall apart in the 60s. But and it was kind of being replaced really by communism was now the enemy, not other religions. The whole religion thing started to kind of dissipate somewhat, although it's built up again just lately. But anyway, all of this I consider manipulations, by the way, rather than a natural evolution. But anyway, so one was able to kind of travel. You could go all the way overland from England, right, you know, across to China if you wanted. China was, you know, part of the communist bloc, but you couldn't go into it. But you know, the things that are affected by Chinese culture, you could go to like Nepal and then India, which is sort of a Chinese rival. That was completely open, particularly with a British passport, which I had. You could go there and stay as long as you wished. And so it was all open, and the British Empire was like a commercial empire. It wasn't really an empire of force, it was an empire of pure capitalism. So where it had gone, people were still fairly friendly with the British, you know. It's because, you know, it's a money thing, you know. So, you know, they were real friendly. If you had a British passport in India, you could go there, you were welcome, and in fact, you were really quite respected. So I kind of went there as like a hippie, and the whole idea was to go to Kathmandu in Nepal. That was, they kind of just got an electricity there in the last few years there, and it's way up in the Himalayas, you know, toward Mount Everest, very Tibetan influenced, and you know, very just about as culturally as far away as you could get from Europe or America. So that was the idea, was to go there. So I went there, and you know, it's a whole long thing. I wound up staying there for a couple of years with no money. It was tough.
Yeah.
Came back weighing about 75 pounds, literally. But anyway.
Really?
America, well, you know, for all the complaints about it, it's the place on the planet where there's the most freedom, which is why I'm here. Probably why you're here too. There's less barriers, I mean, and the ones that are there are more visible. You know, if you go to, like in Asia, for instance, you know, there's an apparency of like spiritual freedom, or its opposite, like in China with Chinese communism. You've got, you know, kind of an Orwellian type situation. But it's, they're just not as open about it. You know, America's just absolutely unique, you know. Like, for instance, when I first came to America, I arrived in New York, you know, just came as a tourist, and I'm sitting in a restaurant. I had a really strong accent back then. Americans could hardly understand what I was saying, you know, Cockney accent. So when this guy coming up, I'm sitting there, I've only been in America a couple of days and sitting in this restaurant, comes up, hey, where are you from? You know, he asks me a question, tells me about his family tree, coming from England, tells me a bit about his family, you know, shakes my hand, wishes me well in America, all this. Tell you what, you could be sitting in Europe, you could be sitting in a restaurant in Europe, for a fucking decade, you know, before anybody might say, you know, excuse me, you know, I noticed you had a, you know, interesting accent. Would you mind if I asked you where you're from? America's, hey buddy, where you from? By the way, you know where I can get laid, you know, I mean, they're just straight in your face, you know, it's unique. And that goes with the freedoms that exist here. You know, I could get into it, but you know, I think, you know, particularly with a town like this, you're, it's, you know, a mystery unto itself. It came from nowhere in the middle of the desert, right? And you know, the kind of story on that is this dude Bugsy Siegel came here, right? And he was, you know, kind of on vacation in the middle of the desert. And he figured, well, yeah, it'd be a good place to launder the mob's money, right? Yeah. That's the cover story. Actually, we're about 25 miles from the biggest secret base on the planet. Area 51. People don't quite realise that place is bigger than Switzerland. It's fucking gigantic. It's a large employer in this city. This city is purely a cover. Wow. It's what it is. It's like a whole lot of lights and bells and whistles, so you don't notice you've got a secret base right here that actually employs a lot of the people that live here. And that is purely, absolutely, people who work there absolutely don't talk about it. Just nothing. It's, and it's secret, even when you work in it, you don't know what the other dude's doing. And it's gigantic. I mean, just try driving around it, you'll be driving 2 days.
Wow.
And the government it says it don't exist, of course. It says it's actually just an extension to the airbase. So, you know, I mean, there's mysteries like that. You ask me what I'm kind of, you know, obviously I'll be curious to see what they're really doing in there, but of course they say they're building a stealth bomber. I don't believe a word of it, but whatever.